Hello and welcome back to the Beardworks podcast for episode number 32. Nick and Nathan coming at you again. We've had a bit of a break. It's been I think 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, nearly coming up by the time this episode comes out. So we apologise for that. We did record one, but audio issues have hit us hard again. So we're skipping that one. We'll do a re-record, I guess, with a guest appearance for that episode.
Yeah.
But anyways, Nick, how you been, man?
Oh, flat out, man. We recorded that episode, went to share. It was a Snyder Cut, by the way, if people listen. That'll come eventually. Uni stuff, life getting in the way.
Yeah, that's it. So we've obviously been really busy. I'm working vintage at the moment. I've been a little bit sick, so we're just trying to battle against it now, and we will get back into our weekly episodes. We just need a little bit more time. So please bear with us and enjoy this episode, hopefully. So we're going to be moving on to, like we said, we did talk about the Snyder Cut, and we will go back and record that episode. But we want to move into something that's a bit more, because obviously we've seen Justice League, and the Snyder Cut was something new, but also old. This is brand new, and it's a follow-on from Disney's little book, what they have at the moment of this collection of shows coming out with Loki and I forget what other shows are coming out. But yeah, obviously we've had WandaVision already, but this one's featuring two interesting characters that have been alongside Steve Rogers or Captain America over the time of the movies, and that's the Winter Soldier in Bucky Barnes and the Falcon in what's Andrew Mackie's character called? Far out.
Sam Wilson.
Yeah, Sam Wilson. Jeez, that was really bad.
Yeah, I call him just Falcon all the time.
Yeah, so obviously, I reckon they have a cool dilemma. Obviously, with Steve not around anymore, it's a little bit different. So let's break it down. So Nick, we've both seen the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Just overall thoughts so far. Do you think it's heading in the right direction?
I think it's a pretty good show. It's not as good as WandaVision so far, but I feel like since episode 1 to 3, they're getting better each week. First episode was the worst one, in my opinion. It was a sook fest. They were just crying the whole episode, I felt.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It was just building up the characters because obviously this space after the snap and obviously they've returned after the big battle. They've lost Steve due to him staying back in time and growing old. So there's the world's sort of missing that huge hero that leads the Avengers in being Captain America, and obviously we've got no Iron Man anymore, and so we don't know who the next leader is, and so Sam has been given the shield to become the next Captain America or whatever version he chooses to be, and he does what he thinks is right by giving it back to the United States government and saying, it deserves to be in a museum and it deserves to be that symbol of hope, but preserved, I guess, if you know what I mean.
And he just gives it away like a fucking dog. I said it.
Yeah.
I said it in Endgame. Sam was the wrong choice. It should have been Bucky straight away.
But that's the thing. I think with Bucky's past, they're a bit worried about having him have the shield. Obviously, I think the Winter Soldier storyline is really good. Like, I think Bucky's a really cool character. Obviously, it was a lot darker in the actual films, and now he's sort of got. And that's I didn't mind him coming back into society, and trying to become a citizen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's definitely. He definitely wouldn't have many mates or like fans like the Avengers do out in the world. Like you see in like Thor Ragnarok, how like the chicks get selfies with Thor. No one's going up to Winter Soldier getting a photo, afraid they get killed.
Well, yeah, that's it. So, because obviously the Falcon and Winter Soldier aren't big, because they're not really. Well, the Falcon is an Avenger, I guess. He's classed as one. The Winter Soldier's not, because Bucky's always been in hiding and doing these things. Now he's got given this this past where he can become a civilian again and leave that in the past. And so I didn't mind that little concept of him, going to therapy and him, he's got certain rules that he follows and he still does his little bits and pieces to bring down those people that were part of Hydra, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yep.
But he's not a dark character anymore. He's a real light-hearted character, technically. Like, I don't mind it, actually.
He's like the MCU, My Name is Earl, with his rules and little checklist book. And
yeah.
He's like, just trying to right the wrongs he's made.
Yeah.
Because he's done a lot of gnarly shit. He's probably one of the worst people in MCU, like, when he was kicking off.
Yeah, now, as the Winter Soldier.
Now he's just like PTSD recovery now.
But it was really good to see, obviously, like Sam doing his missions, part of the United States Army, I'm guessing, I can't remember what it was, or Special Forces. He was doing that part. And then obviously him and his sister have that history of their family boat and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of cool because it shows that just because you're a superhero doesn't mean everything gets given to you. So obviously he got snapped out of existence. His sister took on the whole family thing on her own. and then they go to the bank just to try and get a bit of finance to save the boat and the home. And the bank's like, sorry, like, can't you ask some of your Avenger friends to help you? He goes, it doesn't pay well. Like, it just shows you just being a hero doesn't mean that you get given stuff.
Yeah, true, but I also feel like that's a bit stupid. I feel like Tony Stark or like T'Challa, it would have helped him out. They would have set up funds for all the heroes. They would have looked after each other. I don't feel
Yeah.
like Sam would be poor.
No, I don't think he's poor. I think he has perks to his job that allows him to do things and get stuff done. Like, so like he can get transport easily, kind of stuff like that. But
He would have
when it
enough
comes
money to buy a boat.
well, that's what I mean. Like maybe that's what I'm trying to say. I think they're trying to portray it as like the superheroes don't actually get cash; they just get perks to their position, as in flights, food, your accommodation, shit like that. But they're not actually money, which it does make sense because it just proves that if they had the Accord done, they'd be paid superheroes. That's how it works. Like
Surely
that's
they
the
get
whole.
like a veteran's pension, like a real life soldier would. No, they
I don't
saved
know.
they saved the world. They killed Thanos.
Yeah, no, that's it. But the point is that obviously there's some real life struggles, which is good, and it shows that they don't actually get everything given to them. Obviously, like Sam's situation, the bank says no. They say like he wants a photo with him and stuff like that, but he goes, yeah, no, we can't help you as a bank. It's like, oh, nice. So they're struggling, and then yeah, so obviously the whole backstory so far is that the super soldier serum has now reappeared in the form of a new type of serum that doesn't bulk up your body, doesn't transform you too much, but just keeps you as you are, but just makes you super strong, of course.
I still feel like all these super soldiers are still tough in that, but still Steve Rogers, I feel like he's the iconic, like he was the perfect example of the serum.
Yeah,
Like no one, like all these super soldiers would still get clapped by Steve.
I definitely agree that he's a different level of super soldier serum kind of thing. So, but it is cool because you get to see them go up against super soldiers. So obviously you see the dynamic between Bucky and Falcon throughout these 3 episodes, which is good because there's a bit of what can I say, parallel characters with the new and I wouldn't say improved Captain America, which we were
Shit
very shocked.
character.
Point is that they've actually so obviously Sam had given up the shield to say give it back and it's a historic thing, stuff like that. But the US government are like, no, we want the new Steve Rogers, we want the new Captain America to be that symbol of hope and be something massive. And so they bring out John Walker. Now, in saying that, when I first saw him, I was like, okay, he's just like a poster boy, but he's actually a soldier, which was a bit. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, he's definitely. Well, people that don't know, US Agent in the comics is like Captain America without the serum, but he's like a bit more akin to the Punisher.
Yeah.
He'll kill people, he'll get shit done, he'll start shooting up. Like, yeah, he's just a bit of he's a bit of a rogue. Like, but yeah, he's got the mantle now. He's the iconic Captain America, but I don't think many people are happy.
But that's the thing. I thought he was just gonna be a poster boy, and like it's sort of there was an episode in the Pacific, like made by Steven Spielberg and stuff like that. I think that was based like there was a war hero, and he got sent back to America, and he just was like the poster boy, and he wanted to be back fighting with his brothers. But he was because he'd done this this action man kind of like hero kind of thing. They made him as a poster boy, and he was off showing off to all these people. And he wanted to be back in the war, back in the front lines. So, like, obviously, it shows like this guy was like, I don't know if I can be what they want me to be, but then he actually is a soldier. He's been through battle and through war. Excuse me, and he has shown that he has the ability, not so much to the strength of Captain America, but he peaks all of the physical, attributes that it takes to be part of this kind of program that they're designing. So
Yeah, I still don't feel like anyone can throw the shield like Steve did. But we see in the trailer that Sam's throwing it. We see in the show John throwing it. It's bullshit.
yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, me and you had disagreement about this, saying like it's all about the whip and the action and stuff like that.
No,
They're throwing their whole bodies into it, whereas Captain America just throws his arm and it launches it. But I understand what you're saying. Um, but yeah, obviously there's a little fight scene. They're chasing after these bad guys in this on the highway on these trucks, and Sam and Bucky are sort of getting bullied around a bit. And then the new Captain America and his new sidekick rock up and sort of save them a little bit. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe John Walker isn't just a pushover. He's actually a proper soldier. And yeah, you see him. He's actually pretty good to watch in battle. So
he's just a bit arrogant, I feel. He talks down to Sam and Bucky, even though they've been through a lot more than he has.
Oh yeah, and you can tell that he sort of says like, I understand how you guys feel about this. And he goes, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but he goes, we need a symbol, and they've picked me. So yeah, which was really interesting. So obviously we see some backstory with Bucky. How he. I found it very far fetched that the son that he killed back when he was the Winter Soldier happened to be that Asian gentleman's son. Um,
Yeah.
when he was having dinner with him, you know what I mean?
No, but yeah, maybe Bucky was only having dinner with him just to try to make it better. Like he might have
Maybe
sought him out, like looked for him to just, I don't know, needed
that's true.
closure. I don't know.
But yeah, so obviously it shows Bucky trying to get back into the real world, and it shows him the psychiatrist, sorry, checks his his phone and says the only person you've texted is me, and you've got got missed calls from Sam. So obviously, yeah, it's cool because I like to see a bit of comedic stuff first of all. That first episode is very bland and stuff like that, but as it goes on, it gets better and better, and we're building into something really massive now. I did like this episode 2 when the psychiatrist sat down with Sam and Bucky, made them sit really, really close together, and they had like that staring contest. Like that was quite funny.
Yeah, they're taking all their anger and frustrations out on each other. It's all because they miss Cap. It's
Oh
they
yeah,
just
he was
both
the
don't want to
one.
admit it.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing is that he was the one that and that's why he said Bucky said he believed in you, Sam. He gave you the shield, believing that you do the right thing with it. And he goes, and you gave it away. You threw it away. And he goes, and maybe he was wrong about you. And if he's wrong about you, he's wrong about me. Because obviously,
Cap's never
Steve
wrong.
believed. Yeah, Steve believed that Bucky was good. That he was just being controlled. Yes, and he did the wrong things, but he was a good person. And so that's why Bucky's sort of like if he was wrong about me, then what's my life? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. We need Cap back. I miss Steve. I'm sick of this John Walker bitch. Knock
Well,
him.
obviously the whole build up is to give Sam back the shield, and he becomes, the
Yeah.
Falcon, Captain America. But I do like their dynamic. Like, obviously, you're missing Steve now. We've had that little conversation with them because they both want Steve's approval. Do you know what I mean? It's like fighting over a girl, like two guys fighting over a girl.
Wow.
And saying it's like Steve Rogers. So they both want his approval, and now he's not around to say yes, you're right, and yes, you're wrong, or you're both right, stuff like that. They're struggling to come to terms with what's the best course of action. Obviously, so their storylines, like they're chasing these super soldiers, serum kind of guys, and John Walker and his new sidekick are chasing them too, but they're going through a different kind of avenue. And then finally, episode 3, we get to see an old face return, who's I think she's absolutely a great actress, and I think she does really well as a character, and that's Sharon Carter.
Yeah, she's wicked, man. She's a beast. She gets shit done.
Obviously, she lost a lot of her life due to the fact that she helped them out back in the day. So she's on the run from the US government. So she's hiding away. So
She's
having
still
her,
on the run from Civil War. The others got
yeah,
off.
yeah, even after the snap and after all this other kind of crap.
Yeah, because I don't think Sharon. She didn't get snapped.
I honestly don't know. But the point is, yeah, she stole the shield and Falcon suit, and she got branded an enemy of the state
Yeah, well,
for stealing that stuff.
you get that.
But yeah, so obviously we get to see some action scenes with her in it, and she's just a beast. Like
Yeah,
running, like
she's
these
like
guys
Black
aren't
Widow.
super soldiers. But yeah, 100%. And then, we get to see Zemo return, and he's a bit different to what we were used to, which is awesome.
Yeah, he's a bit more like comic book Zemo now. Like he's actual bit more of a character, not just a mindless Nazi.
Yeah. And it was really good to see, like, how Bucky was talking about how breaking him out of prison, and it's like showing it's playing through right now as he's talking about it. And then he just walks and he goes, "So what'd you do, Buck?" He goes, "What'd you do, Buck?" And then all of a sudden he's like, he just walks through. He goes, "Nah, you're going back to prison." I love that. That was so good.
Yeah, and that island they visit, Mandapore, that's like a big thing in the X-Men. Wolverine hides out there for a long time, so like we might be getting
Ah.
X-Men hints now.
Well, yeah, obviously they're building to the big X-Men reveal, as in not in the shows, but obviously bringing the X-Men into the universe.
Yeah, because
So,
that's 100% going to happen. They're not going to waste that license they just spent all that money on.
well, they've already just bloody got, they brought in, Quicksilver from the Fox Quicksilver. So, they've given us hints and they've shown us what they want to do. But yeah, so obviously we get to see some action scenes, and they finally find out who the person is who's creating the serum, and it's this guy who got snapped. He got brought back, after the great battle in Endgame, and he went to pick up where he left off, but the funding had stopped, so he got some mobster, or what was they called? I forget what he was called now, but obviously he gets funded by somebody else, and he creates a soldier serum, and he gets stolen. And then, they're having a nice discussion trying to work out where it went, and Zemo just flips a switch and just shoots him straight in the head.
Yeah, because Zemo's funny and cool and all that, but he's still a bit of a dog.
Well, he hates the super soldier serum.
Yeah.
Like he's totally against it. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. Like obviously, he just wasted him, and then there was an explosion, a massive gunfight, and then Zemo rocks up with his iconic purple mask,
And
to
just starts
sort of like
massacring
save them.
those last few dudes.
That was cool. That was a little epic scene. But yeah, so like we've got some really good stuff here to start with, and I think it's only going to get better. I do like I like their dynamic. So obviously it's building for something. I just don't know where Falcon and Winter Soldier are going to sit in the new Avengers. When that eventually comes around.
Yeah, I can't tell if one of them's going to die or not. I don't think they killed anyone in the series, but I don't know. Bucky seems like he's over the fight.
Well, it just all depends. Like Sebastian Stan has been around for a while now, but he hasn't really had his moment. Obviously, he had Winter Soldier,
Yeah,
and Civil War, but I think he's still got more to offer. I'm just waiting for him to be cast as Luke Skywalker in like a live action show.
well, that's another episode. It's like a 3-hour episode.
True. But yeah, so there's one thing I wanted to talk about, which was really, really cool, and it sort of brought down to it just brought back, what society has gone through over time with like iconic heroes and stuff like that, and that there was actually a super soldier in the U.S. Army back in the was it 70s or Vietnam or something like that, or was it further back? And
I don't know.
he was, but because Sam made a big deal about it in the episode, so it really pushed it out there. And it was there was a black superhero, as in a super soldier that had been around while Steve was in the ice.
Yeah,
And
it's just because the world was a bit
Yeah.
more racist back then. Just didn't really
Yeah,
want to put him in the spotlight because he's black.
and that was it's such a realistic look at the world, and it sucks because this Sam's like, you telling me that there was this man was available to be to take Cap's shoes until until they eventually found him, but no, they just turned it back on him, and like he's living in like in a not nicer area. Like he should be in a nicer area than what he
And
was.
he was in jail for like 20 years getting experimented on. And
Yeah, exactly. His blood was getting taken, but that was so cool because Bucky and him had a throwdown back in the day, and he's just like, when I last saw you, I remember taking more of your arm.
yeah,
So I was like, this guy was sick.
he
Like,
must
I
have
want
been
to
a
see
good
this
fighter,
guy.
Yeah.
I
Well,
want to see this guy.
there's a lot of commentary on racism in Marvel comics. The X-Men was made to combat racism because the X-Men was like the outsiders of society. Normal people didn't like them. The whole thing, X-Men was created to like stop racism in a way.
Diversity and
Like,
stuff.
yeah. And then
Yeah,
you get all
no.
these black heroes that no one hears about and stuff, and so it's very interesting.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that scene. It's like, because it's like saying, you're telling me this man was available to become the next Captain America, but because of his skin color, he wasn't given a gig. Like, they incorporated that really well. Like, they didn't throw it in your face. They just made it saying like, this is bullshit. He should have been the symbol. But anyways, I think the whole series in itself is on its right track. I think Disney are doing really good. I think with the Mandalorian, they've done so well. With the more Star Wars shows coming out, Loki coming out shortly, which I think will be pretty fun, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to set up a villain, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. Nah, I'm totally on board with it. So far, so good with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm really keen to see what happens. Obviously, next episode's tomorrow, so keen on that.
And we've got Black Widow coming soon.
Black Widow is not far away, yeah. So finally, we get to see that, and I'm actually really keen to see what's the big guy's name from Stranger Things.
Captain Rush or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he just looks like fun. Like, honestly, just keen to see what he does. So yeah, I mean, they're still going to do massive action pieces when even though Scarlett Johansson's character is just a normal human being.
I just don't think after Thanos, Taskmaster was a good idea for a villain. He's just going to not be threatening at all.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you look about all the comic book villains over Marvel, there's been no real great ones. Like and this is the thing that I've had a problem with for a long time, is that most movies and shows these days, when it comes to big picture things, are just setups for the next movie.
That's why Infinity War was so good, because everyone just died and then it was over.
Yeah,
that's why it hits so hard.
And that's the thing, that there's a big gathering, stuff like that. But like a lot of the movies just build up, have like a small villain, and then it's like, boom, they lead into the next big film, but you have to wait. Like, I just want a great film on its own. So like, obviously I didn't mind Doctor Strange, but even Doctor Strange, the final battle was with Dormammu, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That wasn't that exciting. Obviously it was funny because he could hit reverse in time, but it wasn't a massive, like, it was like world ending, but did it really feel world ending?
And in the comics, Dormammu's like up there with Celestials and Thanos with a fully powered gauntlet, and that. And I feel like they wasted him.
Yeah. So yeah, honestly, I'm just really keen to see what they do. And like I said, villains wise, they haven't done anything too amazing over time. I have a lot of high hopes on the Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange. I have a lot of high hopes on that film. Like,
Yep.
I hope it's just an absolute god tier film. But yeah, obviously Winter Soldier and Falcon, keen on that. But I thought quickly now, well, we've got a few more minutes left, and we've both been playing it recently, and that's Outriders. We've obviously played the demo. Now we've got the full game. Now, Pat made a really good connection that he thinks that we're in the demo, because it wasn't that polished, that potentially was the PS4 version of it.
Oh yeah,
So
it looks so much better on PS5.
yeah, I
Night
definitely
and day.
agree, 100%.
Like,
So you guys have smashed it. I mean, you guys play a lot of it. I've been on behind the 8 ball, so I'm playing alone at the moment. But you guys are enjoying it, aren't you? Like, it's
oh
good
yeah,
fun.
we've been grinding it. Like after this recording, we're getting straight on it. But like, it's a weird mix. It's like Destiny, The Division, and like James Cameron's Avatar.
Yeah.
Like, it's a weird story. It's like an action, but it's funny at the same time. Like, your main character just doesn't care about anything. He's just over it. Like,
Yeah.
there's people that like they like do something and then they beg and say sorry to you, everything, and you just shoot him in the head in the cutscene. No, not dealing with you. You're just gonna die. It's so funny.
The powers are cool, though.
Yeah.
The
How's
combat's interesting.
Yeah, I'm pyro, so I'm just barbecuing everyone, turning people to
Yeah,
ash.
I'm the the time and space master, I guess, whatever it's called. Is it called the trickster?
Yep.
I don't know. I enjoy that because, like, you slow down time. It gives you a bit of, you can teleport behind things and stuff, behind enemies and stuff. But there's excuse me, there's a new ability that I'm trying to work out. It's like a dashing thing with a sword. I don't know. Point is that I've actually really enjoyed it, and obviously, me and you played the other night, and I'm still finishing off that mission. I'm versing the guy that does the pyro bloody tornado thing.
Oh yeah, it's tracking. You can see when he's casting that there's like a bar above his head. If you hit him with your powers, it'll interrupt it and he'll stop casting.
Yeah, no, I'm getting better at it. So, no, I'm enjoying it. It's just I've been playing Control, which I think is an amazing game, which we probably will do a review on it eventually. I'm not sure. I did talk about it probably in some other episode, but just going from Outriders to Control, switching between the two, man. Like Control, I was just flying around. Obviously great polished game. So going between the two is quite difficult for me at the moment. But yeah. Anyways, I think that about wraps up our episode. What have we got coming up? So obviously we're going to redo the Snyder Cut, so we'll talk about that. We'll get Pap on board with that one because he loved it, and I have conflicting issues about it. Nick, you enjoyed it,
Yeah,
so.
I like it.
But yeah, I mean, you've seen Godzilla vs Kong. And I think Pap has as well, so I need to watch that.
Yeah, that's all right. It's not nothing crazy. It's a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I understand that. I'm actually pretty close to finishing Star Wars Rebels, so that might be a decent chat.
Ooh.
So I've been building up to that, so I've been enjoying that.
Rebels is better than Kong. I'll tell you that for free.
Classic.
I'm getting through Demon Slayer.
Yes, Demon Slayer. That's what I wanted to talk about. Obviously, you're catching up to the movie, which we both haven't seen yet, so it'd be good to watch that. And are you enjoying it more now? Because I know you're a bit up in the air about it.
The middle few episodes, like 8, 9, 10, and that, it was shit.
What episode have you? So obviously, there's going to be spoilers.
I just watched the one. They just met the pig head dude.
Yeah.
And they killed the demon that had the drums, and he could like change the gravity in the rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched that, and they just killed that, and then they went outside, and that's where like
they show down a bit.
Yeah, they like face off, and meet each other properly.
So I want to quickly right now before the end of the episode, I want to talk about, you thought, I mean, Zenitsu just cries and whinges a lot, and it's just a bit. I know what you were talking about. There was a time when I was just over it, and I was like, I don't really like this character. And then it gets worse again after this episode when they're healing, which is it's okay. Like, it's not, you get used to it, you understand his character. But how cool is the animation when he uses the thunderclap technique?
Oh yeah, he just like ultimate dash, boom, headshot, slice.
Obviously the next arc is the big dark arc, which is really good. I've just finished. Where I'm up to right now. I've just finished it. And I really enjoyed it. Obviously, this is the second time I watched it. I watched it in Japanese the first time, watched it in English the second, so I could just like do other things while I was watching it. But yeah, honestly, the next arc is really good. I think you really like it. The animation in that little arc is really awesome. And obviously, they got the Infinity Train or the Mugen Train. I forget what the Japanese word for it is. Movie, which apparently apparently, like it's just tearjerker at the end. So keen to watch that. Then season 2 starts up this year too.
Yeah, shit. A lot of anime coming. And I've still
Yeah.
got to watch the newest Attack on Titan when it's all in English.
Oh man, the final season, like now it's been split too. They're pushing it out to
Yeah, that's
2022.
bullshit.
I knew they were going to do it because like the manga was just getting finished. Like the last chapter literally just came out yesterday, so they were waiting for it to finish, and then they've said, "All right, okay, now we're going to animate and go crazy on the final chapter." And Attack on Titan, when I think back to 2013 when I first saw it to where it is now, I thought, "Oh yeah, hack and slash, pretty straightforward, pretty straightforward." Sorry, anime, easy to get into, gore, action, love it. To where it is now, my mind is completely blown. Like the final season has just had so many twists and turns, and I have read bits of the manga, so I know what happens in this next part. And I'm just like, I don't understand. I do not understand how it went from where it was to where it is now, but I'm so on board.
Yeah, that's why I think Attack on Titan is so good because it's not like 1,000 million episodes like One Piece and Naruto or something. There's no downtime. It's everything feels relevant and worthwhile.
Yeah, 100%. So that we got some obviously massive anime. There's big movies coming out this year too. The one show that you need to start watching is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yep.
I think you'll love that, and that there's a movie for that coming out this year. I just love the idea that anime is going towards if they haven't got enough content for an arc, they'll just turn it into a movie.
It's better than making a shit season based on your own ideas like the end of Game of Thrones. Look how that worked out.
Oh, please, that's too soon still. But yeah, obviously massive stuff coming out. My Hero started up again. Oh my gosh, I'm just losing my mind. Anyways, we need to cut it off there. So guys, please do the usual. Follow us on our socials, wherever you can. Listen to us. We just really appreciate it. I know we've been off it for a little while now, like 2 or 3 weeks now coming up. So please stick with us. We'll be back on a weekly basis shortly. So Nick, final words?
Deuces.
Take care, guys. Outriders time. See ya.